Hi there everyone, welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. This is Cassie. Today we're going to be making a mom card. So we're going to be using our foiled floral mom. So we're going to be foiling and die cutting with that. We're also using our Simply Sentimental mom stamp set. And we're going to be using this oldie but goodie Bed of Roses stencil. Love this. We're going to be bringing in some other new products, but I'll show you those later. So like I said, we're going to be doing some foiling. I have this hot pink foil and I've got my quick trimmer. I'm going to trim down what I need for the word mom. And we've got our white cardstock. This is actually a fairly smooth cardstock, but I've foiled on all kinds of cardstock. I'm just trimming this down to what I need. And then I am turning on my plate, or my machine, my Glimmer Hot Foil system. It's nice and hot and ready. And then I'm going to use a little bit of mint tape as I put my paper, the foil pretty side up, and then my plate on top of that and tack it with some mint tape. Once the machine is ready, we'll put all the pieces together and run that through our die cutting machine. And that's what you get. I do have a little bit of overfoiling where some of those areas are small, so I'm just using my finger to rub some of that away in those leaves. And that's super simple to do. It was just slightly overfoiling. And then I'm going to bring in some alcohol markers, and this is very subtle. I'm using like a minty color. And we are going to just color in the leaves, and then another little bit darker so I can add some different color there. And then I'll show you what that looks like in the camera, which is so beautiful. So next up, we're going to bring in the die cut so we can cut out the word mom. You could leave it as is if you wanted, but I definitely want to die cut it out. And so I've got more mint tape. We'll tack that down and we'll run that through our die cutting machine. I just think that turned out so pretty. And there you have it, all die cut out, even cuts out the center of the O. And then for our background, because you know I love to make a background, we're bringing in that Bed of Roses stencil, and I am using a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 inch cardstock, and I've got my tonic platform. And I love that these stencils are big enough to cover that entire background. At this point, I wasn't sure how big I wanted my background to be or how big I wanted my card to be. I wasn't sure if I wanted it to be a 5 by 7 or if I wanted it to be an A2 card. But at this point, I just wasn't sure. So I thought, why not just ink up that whole piece of cardstock, which is basically just the half of a regular size piece of cardstock. And then I'm using some green with my blending buddy. And then I'll pull this stencil away, and then we'll pull in the second part of the stencil, which is the roses, and it's easily lined up because of all of the embossed lines. And then I can bring in a pink color and another blending buddy. And I'm going to be just kind of subtle with that. I don't want this background to be too heavy. I just need a pretty background, and so I picked lighter colors, a little bit more just subtle colors. And so we'll do the whole background like that. And I'm not worried about getting perfect coverage all the way around. I just need some of that color on there. Once that's all done, we can pull that stencil away as well. And you'll see how cool the background looks. It's so darn pretty. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And so the next step would be splatter, of course. You know, for some gals, it's white gel pen. For me, it's splatter. I love the splatter. So I've brought in this palette. These are metallic colors, and I picked out a pink that kind of matches the pink that I used, and a little bit of water, splatter, splatter, splatter. And it's pretty subtle, but I just love it. I feel like it kind of, I don't know, I can't explain it. It just makes me feel like it's more complete when I've got a little bit of splatter on that background. And it'll cover up any imperfections. Maybe not cover them up, but make you not think about it so much. But check that out. Nice shimmery splatter. All right, so I have decided that this is going to be a 5 by 7, but I am going to bring in our A2 foil frames. Those are new. So these aren't going to die cut a rectangle. These are going to foil a rectangle. So I've trimmed down my paper to 5 by 7. And I'm going to cut more foil here with my quick trimmer. And I've got my machine out again. That's heating up again. And it's at this point I've kind of decided that rectangle, I don't want it to be straight. I don't know why I'm on this kick of not making the rectangle straight. Maybe it's because I have a fear that I'm not actually going to get it straight. And after I did all that work on that background, I kind of didn't want to mess it up. I'm sure I could have very easily done it. Just line it up, tack it down, which, I mean, I'm tacking it down now, right? And then I'll put this down on my plate, let that heat up. When that's ready, we'll bring in our shims and run this through our die cutting machine and pull that away and check it out. It foiled perfectly. It's great. But I don't want to waste that foil because that just foils that rectangle. I'm going to bring in my quick trimmer again, and we're going to trim off all of the bits that have been foiled, and we will save the rest of the middle of that rectangle because that's a perfectly good piece of foil that can be reused. So I'm just showing you that, you know, waste not, want not, right? And then I can save that for another project. Plus, I just love this pink foil so much. Okay, so here I have my card base, and I have decided I want to add some of that color that I've already blended. And so I'm going to blend that all around the outside of our card. Because I did trim down my panel just a little bit more. So it is about 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And so there will be a nice little border of this green to tie in with the leaves that I've already blended on there. See? And so we'll go ahead and glue that down using our Crafty Gluefriend, of course, right? We'll tack that down to the front. And then you remember that little piece, you see it up there that I cut off. I don't like to waste that either. So we're going to go ahead and glue that on the inside. I went ahead and put the glue on, and then I realized, wait a second, I want to add some more of that ink that I've already used to add a little bit of a border there as well. So we're just going to blend some more of that green right onto our the inside of our card base. And then that glue is still wet, so we'll tack down our piece to the inside, and we have not wasted even a scrap of this base that I made, or this background. So that looks good. I'm going to grab another scrap of cardstock. We're going to ink up some more cardstock, and we will use that to stamp down our sentiments. But before I do that, before I attach those down, I need to attach down the word mom. So I'm using a T-ruler. I've got some of my foam strips, my foam adhesive strips from Trinity Stamps, and I'm just using my glass mat and that ruler to make sure that everything is straight and centered. And we'll peel off all that release paper to do so. And I started with the O because that's actually the easiest way to do it, since that is the very middle of the word. We tack down the O, and then we can put down both of the M's, and then everything is nice and straight. So here we have our sentiments that I've chosen. I love that this is an elegant looking card, and I've got to the greatest, and it'll say mom, and then that other sentiment I just had to do, because yes, I did give this card to my mom. It was for her birthday. It says, from your favorite child. Now I know I'm not my mom's favorite. She doesn't have one, because, you know, she's just mom, right? But I like to tease. So we've got to the greatest mom from your favorite child. All right, and then to finish it off, I had to bring in these white sparkle spots. Now, if you love embellishing, but you don't like adding extra bulk, these are for you. They're completely flat. They're super sparkly. They're very subtle on this background, but when I show you, and I put a lot on there, when I show you how this looks, you're going to be like, I've got to run to the store. Don't walk, run. And grab some of these, because you've got, yeah, they're gorgeous. Using my pickup stick, some more Crafty Gluefriend, we're attaching down a load of these, and I love the way this card turned out. That's going to finish it off. I hope you love it as much as I do. Check out that sparkle and shine. Isn't that beautiful? Yay! So if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to check out all that Trinity Stamps has going on over on their blog, Facebook page, and Instagram for more crafty inspiration. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.